Hello, and welcome to Narrative Notions, where we unleash our unbridled, maybe unpopular opinions on books, movies, TV shows, and all things media. All opinions are our own, and we apologize for absolutely nothing. Hashtag dead dove, do not eat. We are your hosts. I'm Bethany, and that is.
Bianca!
And on today's episode, we are just introducing ourselves and talking about our favorite books. So, Bianca, why don't you start us off and tell us who you are and what you are currently reading and or watching?
I am Bianca. I am 25. I'm a Libra. I don't make decisions, which you'll find out very soon when I tell you about my currently reading list. And you will find out that I have many, many cats. I work with kids. I also work with animals. I love to foster animals, and I have four cats, three of which I have fostered and kept. And one of them, he is orange. He has three legs, and his name is Cassian, just like in Akatar. Very proud of that one. He's a funny, funny little guy. And I am currently reading too many books. So I don't like to make decisions. I am a mood reader, and I am currently reading, I think, like 8 books at once. It's kind of ridiculous. We'll just talk about the ones that I have read over the past couple days. I started The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Really like that so far. I did see the movie, thought it was awesome. Tom Blythe is really hot. I am listening to the audiobook for The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I just finished The Magician's Nephew. Hated everybody in that book. They were all terrible. I am reading an advanced reader copy of Fated Tides by Sarah Faith Sanders. I also read her first book. The fourth book in the Ice Planet Barbarians series, Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. A Promise of Peridot, also an advanced reader copy by Kate Golden. I read the first book as well for her. And I just picked back up after a while A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. I'm watching too many things. The only thing that I'm focusing on right now is Lost. That's all I want to watch. It's all that I care about. And it has my heart. I'm like 2 seasons in. Bethany, who are you?
Stressed by your reading and watching habits. Okay, I am a 24 Virgo. I don't know what that means. Do with that what you will. I don't care. Yeah. I also don't make decisions either, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I am a English comp professor at my local community college. I teach English to college students currently, high schoolers in college classes. They're a trip. They're like little first graders. It's hilarious. I love it. They're giant first graders, and it's the best thing in the world. I am also an author because I have a Master of Fine Arts in creative writing, which I'm very proud of. Um, I may or may not disclose my pen name later on this podcast. We will see that in the future, maybe. Um, I mean, I have a dog, Bella. She's not as chaotic as her cats, but she can also be very demanding in her old age. I love all things dinosaurs, dragons, anything fantasy related. If it can kill me, I probably like it. Some sort of, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Currently reading, I am currently reading Sea of Monsters, I think it's what it's called. The second book in the Percy Jackson series, which I am also watching the TV show for that as it comes out. And I am reading She Gets the Girl by the authors who wrote 5 Feet Apart. I don't remember what their names are. Um, the only other thing that I'm actively watching right now, aside from that, is the One Piece live action adaptation, which is really good, but I don't have the commitment to watch the anime. So I'm watching the live action and hoping that it gets the point across.
In this episode, we're going to be talking about our favorite books so that you can kind of get a feel for us and our personalities. Before we get into that, we're going to go over our favorite genres. I do dabble in young adult. I don't read as much of it anymore, though it does definitely play a part in my list of favorite books that I have here. Nowadays, I read more romance, fantasy, romantasy. I like sci-fi. I've been really into thrillers lately, ever since I discovered that I really enjoy audiobooks. I love horror. I really like gore. I've read a lot of books recently that are super gnarly horror and they're kind of nightmare inducing and it is wonderful. Bethany is the exact opposite of
I
me.
am. Yeah, see, I don't want all of that nitty-gritty dirty stuff. I I like the sci-fi YA stuff. I'm the young adult reader. Just give me I love it. I love their silly little adventures and their found families and their high school drama because it's just so much simpler that way. It's so much easier to get through, even if sometimes they are a little cringy. Um, Sci-fi, fantasy, dystopian. Dystopian is probably one of my biggest favorites when it comes to like subgenres at the very least. I do appreciate a good romance subplot though. So most of the books that I read do have some sort of romance subplot, but I don't think you'll catch me reading a plain romance book unless it's really, really interesting.
She likes the fluffy romance where it's
I
like,
do.
they kissed. Oh my God, they held hands. And then I'm over here like, he slammed her against a tree in the middle of the woods. They've been running through the rain. He broke the bed frame in half. Trigger warnings.
I like the
Um,
fluffy romance. It's cute. I like the
I
cute
don't
stuff.
have to have like I I don't have to have romance in my books, nor do I have to have like smut in my books to enjoy them, but
Yeah.
it definitely makes it a little bit better. Ice Planet Barbarians literally is like nothing but smut. There's like a little bit of like a plot where it's like, oh my God, this is so sweet, found family. Wow, sci-fi, we're on another planet. But
Hashtag
other than
porn
that,
without plot.
hashtag porn without plot. It's fun. But we don't judge other people for their reading habits because it's not hurting anyone. So
I judge her only because we've known each other for 16 years, so I'm allowed to.
she hates my reading habits, but she lives vicariously through me. With all of the very weird things that I read, I
Yes.
like to go out of my way to find the weirdest romance novels I possibly can. I also have a book talk where I post videos, and I read a book about a werewolf shifter and a potato shifter falling in love. He
Yeah,
had to
I
eat his French fries, man.
I
It
I
went
live
really viral.
vicariously through her because I don't want to have to bleach my eyeballs every time I read a book. So,
My brain is soup. It's just soup, and I just like to throw little tidbits in there every once in a while. It's fine. Don't even
yeah,
worry about it.
and I don't want that for myself. So, she's taking one for the team.
Now, Bethany, what
Yes.
are your favorite books of all time? In another episode, we'll talk about like our favorite reads of 2023, but favorite books of all time. We've got series, we've got standalones.
Okay,
Let them at me.
if we're talking standalones first, The Outsiders has my heart, and it will always have my heart. It has had my heart since eighth grade, and nothing will ever take its place. As much as I love other books, I will talk about The Outsiders day and night. Say what you will about it. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but it is my cup of tea, and I will drink it all the time. I read the book at least once a year, and I watch the movie just as often.
One day I will get her a collector's edition of this book, and it's going to be an amazing present. Hopefully, she throws up.
I probably will. I will cry a whole lot. Let's see. What else? Another standalone Cemetery Boys, which I very desperately have been trying to get her to read for probably the past 3 years now.
I'll get there eventually. I have ADHD, and if something is not directly in front of my face, I will forget that it's there. I even edited her book, And
Took her 6 months.
I kept forgetting that it was there because it wasn't in front of me because it was on my Kindle. I'm sorry. I'm
It took her
sorry.
6 months.
6 months. So she says that I should go to the library to get this book.
That's
But who
where I
has
got it,
time for
where I read
that?
it the first time.
But also, maybe I can find it on Kindle. Maybe I'll find it on like
Maybe.
Kindle for Libby. I love Libby. If you don't use Libby, what are you doing with your life? We love free books. Are you kidding me?
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't pay for shit other than Kindle Unlimited, but then that makes everything better because I have thousands of books at my disposal.
All right, so let's see. One more standalone would probably be Deal with the Elf King by Elise Kova. I love that book. There's a lot of opinions around it because of like the forced marriage thing, but like, listen, it's well written. I don't care. I
She's not the first one to do it.
know, and I love elves. Come on. Anything with elves, I was happy that entire book. It was wonderful. Say what you will. I don't care. I loved it. It's one of my
Very good
favorite
book.
romance books.
Technically, it could. This is one of the only books that she's read that has any form of smut in it,
Yeah.
and it's like so minute. But eh, I have lost my train of thought.
Would you like me to go into series then?
I will go into my series. I was going to make a comment about, oh, it could technically be a standalone, but also it is in a series that are kind of interconnecting. I know there's probably like 4 or 5 different books in the series. If you have not read Deal with the Elf King, you definitely need to. Elise Kova is a goddess. Um,
Oh, did
for
I tell you that
my
she replied to me on TikTok?
Bethany, ladies and gents. So one, Aiden Thomas, who wrote Cemetery Boys, knows that she exists and commented on her TikTok. And now Elise Kova knows that she exists.
Yeah,
Elise
so it I
Kova.
I made a video about Aiden Thomas's Cemetery Boys and how it emotionally scarred me for the rest of my life because that book is absolutely devastating in a very wonderful way. And then I commented on one of Elise Kova's TikToks and she replied to me, and I was very happy.
I wish. However, Ruby Dixon knows that I exist. The author of Ice Planet Barbarians
Opposite ends of the
follows
scale.
me on Book Talk. She follows me on Book Talk. You wish you were as cool as me. The author of the fucking balloon animal romance book Squeak follows me on Book Talk. Oh, so
Oh
we are
my
on opposite
God.
sides of the spectrum when it
Uh,
comes to
oh yeah,
famous on
absolutely.
TikTok. I am not famous in any way, shape, or form. I just have some really funky authors following me. I enjoy it very much. Um, Back to the matter at hand. We'll get back into that in another episode. But for my top 3 standalones, first one, Elsewhere. I am not a religious person. And I don't necessarily believe in there being a whole lot after whatever. When I am referring to a higher power, I like to say the sky bunnies. So I say, oh, sky bunnies, please help me. We
We
love the
love the
sky
Sky
bunnies.
Bunnies in this house.
And I like to think that maybe whatever is in Elsewhere is hopefully what's on the other side for us. I think that it's a very beautiful book. The first time I read it was in middle school, and I remember sitting at my kitchen table, literally just bawling my eyes out for like 4 hours. And I think about it on a very regular basis. I have reread it multiple times. I will continue to reread it and continue to love it. And I just think that it's a very well written book. And it is my favorite book by Gabrielle Zevin. I don't know if that's how you pronounce her last name, but we're doing our best. And then second on my list, which I will always love, is Black Beauty. I love Black Beauty. The only copy that I have right now is really crappy. I got it from a library sale. It's like ripped up, it's covered in stains, it's basically falling apart. And I told my fiance that I would like a fancy copy for my birthday or Christmas. That would be very nice. I would probably throw up. It would be amazing. And then The Replacement by Brenna Yovanov. I fucking love Brenna Yovanov. I love all of her books. The Space Between is amazing. Fiendish was really good, which is where I learned that I love the name Clementine, and I did name one of my cats Clementine. Yes, because of that book. But The Replacement is definitely my favorite. It is the most horror centric. I think that the descriptions in it are amazing. There's only one book that I don't like by Brenna Yovanov. Unpopular opinion. Her book, Places No One Knows.
She was suffering through that book.
I was suffering. We will get into that on another day, but it was rough. Oh man. What are your favorite series?
Well, top series is absolutely Unwind by Neil Shusterman. Those books are amazing. I still have to read the last one, but I am so excited to read it, and I love those books. It's the second book that they made us read in school that I absolutely loved. And it's just it dystopian books are a dying breed right now, and they've kind of
You did
fallen
this to
off.
us.
Yeah, they kind of fallen off the face of the earth for a little bit. But I think Unwind is definitely one of the better YA books. And I absolutely love Neil Shusterman, and I have his Scythe series on my shelves behind me. So I'm hoping to get to those soon. Let's see, what else? Second series, definitely the Lunar Chronicles. Those books are amazing. I absolutely love them. I love Marissa Meyer. She is actually who I kind of model my writing style after in a way. Like, I still have my own, but like I love her writing, and every other I love all of her characters that she made, especially Thorn. I would die for Thorn. I love him. And then last one, I'm gonna throw in Narnia in there because obviously that's what got me into reading Lion Jesus. Absolutely. Whether or not you care about religion, okay, fine. That's up to you. But I think the Narnia books are absolutely amazing, and I am making her read the Narnia books. Well, she's
We're
listening
getting
to
there.
them
I'm listening
slowly
to
but
them.
surely.
I was going to read The Magician's Nephew, and listening to it, I realized that trying to read it would have actually killed me uh, because everyone in that book is just so annoying. But I'm like a couple chapters into The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and so far, I really like it. Everybody is crazy though, but I think that's kind of just the theme of the series. Let's see, my favorite series of all time is The Forbidden Game, which like it's technically a series, but technically not. Originally, when it was released, it was three separate books, and it's by L.J. Smith for anyone that is wondering, who also wrote The Vampire Diaries. And it was then re-released in an omnibus, so it is one big book with like three parts, but it's like three separate books, if that makes sense. I love it. Basically, everyone in the book is annoying except for Julian. There
Yeah.
was originally supposed to be a sequel where he comes back from the dead. Don't yell at me about spoilers. This book has literally been out over 20 years. I love Julian and I would die for him. I'm a whore for villains and shadow people. I would throw myself off of a building for this man. Like, are you kidding me? And then Jenny's just like, no, I love Tom.
Julian is the only reason I got through those books. I love you, and those books were okay, but he is the only reason I kept reading because that second book was very boring. Second book syndrome is real, and that book fell victim to it.
Yeah. LJ Smith, she, for everyone that knows, she has a really bad habit of not finishing things. So, there was supposed to be a sequel. It was supposed to be released like 15 years ago. What are you gonna do? She just stopped writing it. And then she has been writing the fourth book in the Night World series for like 20 years now. I've been waiting for like 15 of those years. And it's very disappointing that she has not finished it. They also brought in ghostwriters for the rest of the Vampire Diaries series. So now she just writes fan fiction about Stefan on the internet. If you didn't know that already, this poor woman. My next favorite series would be the Maze of Shadows series by Catherine Ann Kingsley. That woman has my heart. I would go to war for her. I love all of her series. I've read 3 so far, and I know there are more, but this one definitely it has my heart. I love Valroy. I love when a villain is a villain and just is a villain and has no redeemable qualities at all whatsoever. Like, sometimes it's okay if it's like, oh my God, he's evil. And then they find out, like, oh my God, he saved a puppy. He saved the day. I love him. Bye. That makes him a good guy now. Valroy just is evil. He's evil. He's trying to end the world, and they just are in love. And that's just how it's going to be. And he's hot. And that's all that matters.
That is all that matters.
That's all that matters.
The
And
important
then
stuff.
just that he's hot and he's evil.
Oh yeah.
And my last series would be The Infernal Devices. I know that Cassandra Clare has had some stuff going on with her last couple of series. Let the Shadow Hunters die, woman. Let it die.
Seriously.
We
There's like
don't
what,
need
30
20
books
books.
now?
But we
Although
all know.
Magnus and Alec, I could read about them for days.
True, true.
Just saying. Anyway,
We The Infernal Devices is definitely her best series, in my opinion. You might feel differently. I do also love the Mortal Instruments, but The Infernal Devices, I am a sucker for some historical fiction. Oh my God. But also, it just has such a well written, not even like love triangle. I don't necessarily look at it as a love triangle. They are friends, they love each other. She loves them in different ways and they respect it. It's very beautifully written. I would go to war for them, but I do understand that some of her writing is not as good, and that The Mortal Instruments was originally a Dramione fan fiction. Also Schmincest. Ooh. Oh
yeah.
no.
Yeah. The Infernal Devices is definitely the only love triangle that I will ever accept in a book. Because that is the only one that has ever made sense and has ever been done well. I hate love triangles. If there's anything anyone listening to this needs to know, I do not like love triangles. I think they're a waste of time. Leave. Why? You are wasting your time. Why would you let yourself be in that position? Leave. Find somebody
I would
else.
leave. I would leave. I got very irritated when everyone was like, oh my God, the love triangle in the Hunger Games. And it's like, that's not the point.
But
That's not the point.
someone pointed out that, how when the Hunger Games got popular, they focused on the love triangle the same way they focused on it in the actual books. So like the Capitol focused on the love triangle, and so did the rest of the media. And it's just Suzanne Collins is a genius because she is predicting society.
Not the government doing exactly what we thought the government would do.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Who would
But
have
that's not the
thought that
point.
who would have thought that dystopian books, took social issues and projected them like into the future just to see what would happen? Because that's all they are. They're just lessons of, hey, if we don't stop this, this is going to be our future and it's going to suck. Which is why I love Unwind. It's absolutely amazing.
Wouldn't it be crazy if people just, yeah, I don't think I want my kid anymore. Yeah, get rid of him. Rip
Let me
him
just
apart,
have
whatever.
yeah,
I don't
let me
care.
just have them dismembered while they're still alive.
Who cares? I've raised them for 13 years. I don't even really care. Get rid of them. Give me another one. You know what? I don't like that one either. Get rid of that one too. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it's it's a wild book. For anyone who has not read Unwind, please, for the love of God, read it. It's amazing.
Well, guys, if you have any book suggestions, I did start a Goodreads reading challenge for the year. I will be reading 50 books. And controversially, Bethany is not starting a Goodreads challenge, which she knows is unacceptable.
I'll think about it. We'll see
How
how I
dare
feel.
you? Even if you just have it for like 5 books, because I'm nosy and I like to track what she's reading and she never updates it. I update mine multiple times a day, anytime I'm reading, because I'm very anal about that. But if you have any suggestions for things for us to read, if it's really weird, I will probably be the one to read it and then talk about it here because I love torturing myself. But definitely leave those down in the comments. If you are watching this on YouTube, if it's Spotify, head on over. Let us know what you're interested in. But we also have our social media that will be linked. And it has been lovely to have you guys learn some things about us. And we will be talking about even more controversial things in the next episode.
Oh yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. It's we're in for a ride. So is everybody else. We're taking them down with us. All right, so I guess that's it for this episode. Thank you everyone for listening to this very first episode of Narrative Notions. You can find us on YouTube and Spotify, depending on whether you want to see our faces or not, and the chaos that happens in the background, i.e. Bianca's cats. Um, and I think that's all for today. So we will see you in the next episode. Bye.